Hello and welcome to MGP450. I'm Kevin. With me this week, we've got Anna and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Hello. 450.
What a time to be alive. We've got double reason for celebration. Reason number one, it's episode 450. Who thought we'd make it this far? Reason number two, oh, Baldy's not here. Brilliant. Oh, it doesn't get any better than this. It's a party and he's not here. There's going to be some vol-au-vents for everybody. Oh, amazing stuff. How are we all doing on this fine week?
All right, I nearly spat my drink out then.
Doesn't matter. There'll be some for everybody because Sheepdog's not here. Robbing all the buffet. I've been to a buffet with that man. That's why I'm not allowed in buffets anymore.
Oh God.
We drove all the way to Huntingdon for a buffet we weren't really invited to. We're all of the chicken legs. They were good chicken legs.
Wow. And nobody questioned you.
Well, our university lecturer, who was also there, did ask us afterwards what we got out of it, and we just said chicken. It was a whole event thing, but we didn't really do the event. We just ate the chicken. This is how he managed to turn vegetarian, because during our time at university, he ate enough meat for a lifetime.
Yeah.
I watched that man eat 7 steaks in one sitting.
Interesting.
And then angrily, drunkenly question why I wasn't sharing my ribs with him. Because you've had 7 steaks, Sheepdog. But those ribs are for sharing. All right, you can have a rib then as well. My apologies. When I saw you finish off your 7th steak, I didn't think you'd need a rib. But by all means, take one.
Sounds like
Man's a
Sheepdog.
monster. Exactly. That's why he's not allowed to eat meat anymore. Doctors forced him.
Yeah, that's for environment reasons.
Yeah, exactly. The reason we've got global warming is because Sheepdog ate all the cows. The monster. Oh, dear. Don't worry, he's eating their dinner now, so that'll solve the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, is there any other ways I can pick on him while he's not here?
I don't know.
He seems to be...
I could have...
I've just seen a picture on the internet and he seems to be in our Airbnbs. He's right next to the O2.
What's he doing in London?
He's on the airline.
Why? Why is he there?
He's
At
with
this
his,
time of
What's he
night.
up to?
It's with his woman.
What's his game? Yeah, but why is he there?
To have a weekend away with his woman.
Has he gone down there for Social in the City, which is going on this weekend?
Hey, he might be.
Has he got the guest speaker slot that after I called them out for not having any neurodiverse representation?
Oh, could you imagine?
Have they invited him because I called them out? They've gone third or fourth tier down and picked up Sheepdog instead. Could you imagine if he's doing a panel at Social in the City? I'd be furious. That's it. You might have heard the last of Sheepdog on this podcast, boys and girls. If he stabbed me in the back, he's finished. But he doesn't. He's not. Is he aware he's not supposed to go to London without us? Pab, when was the last time you went to London without us?
When he went with his sister.
It was years ago.
Yeah, and that was in January. It was freezing.
Yeah,
Freezing
exactly.
today. Have you seen the weather?
Oh,
There's
yeah.
red weather warnings and everything.
The rules are he's not allowed to go to London without us. Off gallivanting, showing all the bits we taught him about, showing off our Devil's Transport.
Yeah.
How dare
he? A comic book Holy Trinity. Well,
He'll be posting pictures of his jam tomorrow.
Oh God! If
The
he
absolute
did that,
scumbag.
Yeah.
Can you imagine him trying to do the jam and comic shop walk without us there by himself? We'll just get a message. I'm at the wrong Westfield again somehow.
Yeah.
We walked here. I don't know how this has happened. I can guarantee his wife drove him down to London. That's for sure. If they've managed to make it into roughly the right area, they were probably aiming for Paris or somewhere. That's how they've ended up in London. Good to see. He hasn't told. I mean, he reckons he gave us advance notice that he wasn't going to be on the podcast this week. I don't remember.
He did.
And he certainly hasn't. He certainly never told us why. I wasn't aware he was in London.
No.
What a scumbag.
Stop being mean.
He's a scumbag.
You go to London
He's
all the
moonlighting.
time.
Yeah, not moonlighting, no. He's probably there recording with Midlife Gamer now, doing their episode 460. Absolute scumbag. He's done. He's released a couple of Pokemon videos on YouTube, and he thinks he's all that. He's done. He is finished, that boy. But that does lead us on to the topic of this week's show, which is where we're going to discuss Pokemon. As our 450th episode special, we're going to discuss Pokemon for the last time. We're going to go in depth. We're going to do the ins and outs. We're going to say everything there is to say about Pokemon as a group, all of us with the opportunity to be involved. And then we promise that that word will never be said on this podcast ever again. And all of us have agreed to that. Mm-hmm. If anyone doesn't agree, speak up now.
Well, Sheepdog will need to talk about it.
We rehearsed this, Anna.
I think everyone deserves to have a chance to talk about their favourite.
No, he doesn't. Well, he doesn't. He's moonlighting. Do you not remember why he's not here? He's off. He's gallivanting around London with another woman, Anna, and you're okay with that?
I don't mind.
You do mind. You were crying about it earlier.
Yeah, okay.
Showing me his pictures of him on the Devil's Transport flaunting his jam with his wife. Just blatantly and publicly flaunting his wife, his jam, not his wife. Flaunting that female.
Okay.
Goodness me.
You seem a little bit too upset.
I am upset. I want to go to London. I like London.
Not in this weather, you won't.
I like London in all weathers.
Could you imagine me on Devil Transport in the wind that we can do
I've
outside?
been to London. When we were at London for VidCon, like 2 years ago, the Devil's Transport was closed. We stayed in an Airbnb deliberately opposite the XL. We could see it from our balcony, but there's a massive river between us. And because the cable cars was closed, I had to get the tube like 3 stops down and do like a big circular tour around to get back on the DLR. It took me like 25 minutes. It would have been quicker to walk there from our usual hotel in Stratford. I thought it was so clever getting that Airbnb where we could see the XL. Big mistake made.
Why don't you just go on the bridge?
There is no bridge across the river, the main part of the river.
Bridge.
No, I haven't. You're thinking of a different bridge in a different place.
The bridge next to the XL?
Which doesn't go across the Thames, it just goes across that little dock area.
That other one.
Yeah. See what you've done there, Anna. Exactly. The one where I have no legs in the photograph.
Apparently so. Weird.
So, Pokemon. It is all I've really played this week. So we are actually going to talk about it. It wasn't just a dastardly plan to ruin Sheepdog. I have been playing the backside. I kind of need him here because I have questions for him. It's the first time I've ever needed him around.
I mean, I can try and answer it for you.
Thank you, Pab. Have you played the
I haven't bought
Diamond and Pearl games?
No.
But did you play them back in the day?
No.
Way back when?
No.
Well, you're going to be useless then,
I'm just going to
aren't
make
you?
something up and assume like
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. I've played through almost the entire game. In fact, I have played it through to the very end. So I've done all 8 of the gyms. I've been leveling up my little pokies as I go. And generally picking a group of pokies that is appropriate for the gym that I was crushing at the time. And then I got onto the Fab Four, the Beatles at the end, the Elite Four, the Show-Off Four, who think they're better than everybody else. And you don't really get a clue about what kind of team you need to face them. So I just got my 6 best pokies that I'd been leveling up all the way through, went and took them off, managed to fight my way through them for. It took me probably the best part of an hour to get through the Elite Four, but I did make it through them first time. And I thought, I'm so clever, I'm so special. And then I got past the last one of them. And bearing in mind, you can't heal up your Pokemon or anything, or nip to the shop to get any more revives or anything like that while all this is going on. And then Cynthia steps out. Cynthia, who's been mooching around in the background, pulling all the strings all game on, saying, I'm the champion. You're not in the Elite Four, though, Cynthia. I was here to beat them. I'm the champion, though. Got to beat Cynthia. And all of a sudden, she just brings out this unbeatable Pokemon that just earthquakes all 6 of my Pokies back to back. I've got no revives left because I thought I was done. I've got no revives left, so I used it all getting through the Elite Four. No revives, no potions, no nothing. After an hour of clambering through this Elite Four, I wiped out by Cynthia in less than a minute. Absolutely ruined me and sent me back to the Pokemon Center. You don't even get, she doesn't even say, oh well, try again next time. You just basically spawn immediately into the nearest Pokemon Center, and I immediately went to the internet and said, basically, I initially Googled what the hell just happened, and that wasn't particularly useful. And then after about 4 different versions of that, as I started to calm down, I got to form words that might actually produce search results. And it turns out my team was an absolute, all wrong, absolute disaster. It was fine for getting me to where I got to, but I should have been thinking in terms of beating her all along, because apparently the only way to play this game is to cheat and read the FAQs, so you know what kind of team you need to be building all the way through. So it turned out, of the team that I had, only 2 of the Pokemon were even remotely useful for what I had to do. So I had to go back, and basically I've spent the rest of the week, this was all on Monday, I've spent the rest of the week rebuilding my team. I've gone back through loads of areas, finding different Pokemon that I needed, gone down into the underground area, getting some more Pokemon, managed to get together the team that I needed, but then some of them needed to evolve, and they weren't simple evolutions. I needed certain items to evolve certain things, and these certain items were, there's only, like one of them, I needed a shiny stone. There's only one shiny stone that's actually at a place you can go and find. And I needed 2 to get a second one. It is pure blind luck. You basically need this little Pikachu imitation Pokemon to sit in your party, and then when they take on trainers, they basically pickpocket the other trainers, and sometimes they'll nick some stuff. And it's basically a case of, the recommendation was, get one of these right at the start, have them in your party all the way through, and hopefully at some point during the game they'll pickpocket a second shiny stone for you. And it's like, well, I've played through the whole game. So I then had to go and learn how to reignite all the trainers that I'd beaten and get them to want to take me on again. So I'm now going back and redoing old trainers, completely retracing all my steps. And then eventually, I am kind of at the point now where I've got every Pokemon leveled or evolved to where I need it to be. I've got the right balance in the squad, but then there's certain moves that I need that I don't have. So I'm now off trying to find moves. There's certain, like there's a cave you have to cycle through in a special way to get a certain move that you can only get at this one spot in the entire game. You have to give this one move to this one Pokemon, or you'll never be able to beat Cynthia. And I've done all that, and now I've got my squad. Everything's ready. I just need to level them up a bit now, because that was the last thing it said. Oh, you want to be in the high 60s, low 70s on your levels. And these are all, I mean, some of them were as low as like 30, 35. So I've just been redoing the same battles over and over and over again, just leveling up and properly grinding the game. When I did Cynthia the first time, I was 24 hours into the game. I'm close to 40 hours into the game now, so I've put another 15 hours into this game, just literally following an FAQ, retracing all of my steps, fetching all the stuff that I need, building this dream team that can go and take on Cynthia. And I reckon I've probably got another hour or 2 of leveling up, and then at some point over this weekend, I'm going to march back in there, smile on my face, and just do to her what she did to me. Just bang, 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 straight through, finish her off. And then apparently, but you know what my reward for this is? My reward for doing all that is I then get the opportunity to go and find all the other Pokemon I haven't found yet.
You can do that anyway.
Well, you can't get the national dex unless you defeat Cynthia and complete your other Pokedex.
What's the national dex?
The national dex is where you get the Pokedex for the whole game, for the whole lore of the game, rather than just this version. So there's 150 Pokemon on the Pokedex for this game, but to get the 500 Pokemon Pokedex, you have to beat Cynthia and complete her Pokedex. So complete the 150, and some of them you can only do by fighting Cynthia and seeing them, because it's the only place, because you don't have to catch them to get your Pokedex entry. You just have to have an encounter with them, and some of them, the only place they are in the game is with her. So I'm close to having that Pokedex done, and I'm close to beating Cynthia, and then my reward is I can go and find another 250 Pokemon around about the place. They're not there yet. They're coming. They're on their way.
Bringing them over.
Yeah, they're waiting to see if there's anyone worthy there to trap them in their balls. It's I don't know why I enjoy it as much as I do. I'm really having a good time. It's ridiculous.
The second it would have been, you need to go back and redo these gyms and these people, I'd be like, nope, that's me done.
Well, yeah, because normally I hate all that. You know what I'm like with that kind of thing. I can't stand redoing bits of games, but for some reason, whatever it is this week, this game has just clicked with me, and there is something about it that is making me carry on with it, and I don't really understand what it is, because this is my entire history with Pokemon over the years. I've probably played all of them. I'd never finished one until Let's Play Eevee came out on the Switch, and I finished that one because it was basically Pokemon Playground Edition for tiny toddlers. So I managed to finish that one, and that made me think, I'm a big boy, you can go and finish all of them now. But I did Sword and Shield last year and got to this point. So I got to the point where I was ready to do the Elite Four, and then I never bothered. I was like, I don't need to prove myself. I know I could do it. I'm not going to waste the time. So I didn't. I got right to the end and then just stopped. For whatever reason on this one, I'm completing it, and I've just decided I'm completing it. And I think the reason I feel like I have to do it is because when it was going really, really well, and I was just cruising through it, gym after gym, no issues at all, didn't have to Google a single thing until after I'd failed with Cynthia for the first time. I've never known a Pokemon game just run so smoothly. And it's because I was doing it all wrong, apparently. Just bludgeoning my way through and doing it all wrong. Little did I know. But I thought I was so clever that I did my thing that I do from time to time and just Googled, what other games are there like Pokemon? The way I do with Persona as well. And it's like, what games are there like Pokemon? What games are there like Persona? And it came up that the parent series of Persona, Shin Megami Tensei. Shin Megami Tensei 5 came out on Switch like 2 weeks ago. And I had a little look at it. This during last week's podcast, as we were recording.
Yeah.
I noticed it was out. Had a little look on Amazon. The top review, it was like it was me from just a little bit in the future talking to me now, because it was basically this guy saying, I'm 39 years old, right? That checks out. I'm 39 years old, and I love Persona, and I love Pokemon, and I've been looking for something like those games for years and never been able to find anything. And then I tried this, and it was exactly what I was looking for. It's like the perfect blend of Persona and Pokemon. I've played through 20 hours of it over this weekend, and I love it. And it felt like I was listening to myself on podcast episode 470 or something, talking about this game. So I went and bought this, thinking I'm all clever. Mentioned it on my stream, and I've had no end of people telling me how hard it is, and how it's impossible, and how I won't be able to cope with it. And then as they're telling me this, I'm well aware of the fact that I'm now completely failing at the children's version of it that I've been playing, thinking I was clever. And I think I've got in my head, I've spent 50 quid on Shin Megami Tensei, because apparently I do JRPGs now. So I guess I have to prove to myself that I can beat Pokemon even with the help of a FAQ. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat Cynthia. I am going to love it. And then I'm going to put that game in and probably never play another game like this again for as long as I live. It'll put me off Persona. It'll put me off Pokemon. And it'll get all this nonsense out of my system, which is probably a good thing, because with Sheepdog not here, I think I'm in a safe enough space to admit I've watched the first 15 episodes of the Pokemon manga now as well. Anime, sorry.
Really?
I watched the anime. I have. I've been watching that on Netflix.
The original?
The original. I'd never seen any of it before.
It's great.
I wanted to learn more about all this Pokemon lark. So I've been watching that on Netflix at tea time. I can admit it when he's not here. If anyone brings it up next week, I'm just going to deny it. So,
I don't even know who's won
that.
Bake Off, because that's all Kevin will watch now.
I would like to watch Bake Off as well, but without Jurgen there, it's a bit disappointing. I feel like they should do a final with Jurgen in. Jurgen was robbed on Bake Off, everybody. But yeah, I am really, really into my Pokemon this week, so I kind of need Shin Megami Tensei to just smack me in the nuts and get me to pull myself together when I get onto that next week. But yeah, that has been my week. Basically, grinding Pokemon, the thing that I hate most in games. I have been grinding and redoing stuff and retracing my steps and basically just fannying about. And I've had a lovely old time doing it. I don't know what I've become.
You don't know what you've become.
No, and that is my full extent of my gaming this week. I've not touched Forza because of it. I've obviously played my normal quota of Football Manager, but I've not touched Forza, not touched FIFA. I think, personally, and I think this needs to go on the record, that as I have played 40 hours on my Switch in the last 10 days or so, I think the reason I wasn't allowed an OLED Switch is because I wasn't playing on my Switch very much. Well, I've played on my Switch. I've basically played on my Switch like it was a full-time job recently, Anna.
Don't
So I
care.
think
It's
I
for one
probably
game that
haven't-
you do once a year.
Well, no, I've got another one here called Shin Megami Tensei.
You're
I
not-
don't know
you
if I
won't
mentioned it to
you
you.
will not touch it.
I also got Mario Party Superstars. That arrived at the same time. So we've got that ready for next time we're all together in London. That'll still be sealed when we're at Comic-Con in May. So we're like, let's unwrap this game that I bought when it was brand new,
Yeah, and it won't
rather
go
than
in your
buying it
Switch
half
anyway.
price now.
It'll go in mine.
Yeah, exactly. I've got you a gift, Pab. An early Christmas present for you. It is a Mario Party game that you can only play when we're all there together. I'll keep the game,
You know
you
we've
keep the
got a
console.
family,
It's a
Kevin.
gift for us as a group. You up? What did you say?
We've got children we can play it with.
Yeah, but they won't. They might do. But why would they want to play on a mucky old non-OLED Switch?
They wouldn't be down on the
I mean,
Switch.
it'd
They would
be-
play
it'd
on a
be on the
4K TV.
I suppose.
I mean, you wouldn't get 4K out of it, but you would be on a 4K TV, I suppose. Yeah.
But then I have to have sticky-fingered children touching my
Kevin.
Joy-Cons. I prefer it when we all touch Pab's Joy-Cons and mine don't get all sticky.
And my Joy-Cons, Kevin.
Yeah, you can say half of them are Anna's.
Well, yeah, but the key there is none of them are mine.
No, because when you get mine out, you put them in coffee.
Yeah, to be fair, you would never use yours anyway because yours haven't got any charge in them.
That's true. And also, to be fair, I have been playing my Switch on the toilet all week, so mine have probably got
disgusting
poo
man.
particles on them
Ugh.
by now. So yeah, you probably
That
don't
needs
want to
a
use
good
my
disinfecting now, that
Joy-Cons.
needs to
Yeah,
get-
they want dipping in a nice hot coffee
Needs
to
to
get
get
the poo
microwaved
particles
now,
off of them. Yeah, exactly.
I remember
So-
that day you just sat there and looked at my controller just in your coffee. You didn't think of moving
What was I
it.
supposed to do?
You didn't think of moving it. You just looked at it.
It wasn't going to be any less covered in coffee if I took it out, was it? At that point, it was already dunked.
Yeah.
You can't undip a soldier.
That's a proper...
I had to think.
We're
what
dunking
are you
that,
about?
wasn't it?
I can't say it now.
That's a well-known phrase, Annie. You can't undip a soldier. Have you never heard that one? That's, you get that on T-shirts and all sorts. There's a you can't undip a soldier. You can't undip. Everyone knows that song. Let us know. Tweet in at RB6K and tell him whether or not
Yes.
you can undip a soldier.
Wow.
He'll love that.
It's
He
20
knows.
minutes in now. He will have stopped listening after 5 minutes if he is listening, so he won't listen to the entire thing.
Yeah, just everyone tweet at RB6K. You can't undip a soldier. I think he needs reminding. He knows, but he needs
And
reminding.
the sooner you do it, the better, because then it gives him less of a chance to listen to it beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to, is he?
You know,
No.
he doesn't
He's
do
off-
this
he's
when
off
we're not here.
romancing his lady wife.
He doesn't do this at all.
Both mean.
Who doesn't do what?
Well, when me and you have gone away, and it's just him and Pab. Pab doesn't. Pab and
They don't do the podcast then.
Yeah.
When we're not here, they don't even bother to do it.
they have done because it was in
They
mono.
do. They don't. Yeah, that was 6 years ago.
We've done it once or twice. It's weird. It's weird.
Is it?
Yeah, at least we bother to do it when he's not here.
I guess.
Lazy. And I bet it's not Pabby who says, shall we not bother? Guarantee it's old sheepy.
Yeah. When have you not seen me on a podcast? If we're doing a podcast, I'm here.
Exactly. Pab's a professional.
Basically, if I don't do a podcast, it doesn't go out.
Sheepdog's a fair weather podcaster.
Yeah, armchair.
Exactly. Wishes he was a podcaster, but doesn't want to put the miles in. That's why you'll never make it as a professional. Well, to be fair, I did send him his $8 the other day for this week's advertising, he's loving that, I imagine. He is officially a professional podcaster. Talking of the $8 that we earned throughout the month of October for adverts, that's probably justification enough for Pabby to drop another $8 special in now. Pabby, fill your boots. We need paying. Good work, Pab. That was a great advert. Just in case we're not allowed to disclose how much we get paid.
That's a good point, but...
Yeah. Do you know
But
what?
to be fair...
If we're not, just stop paying us it. I challenge you to not give us the money anymore.
To be fair, we disclosed only how much Sheepdog got.
Exactly. He
Not
doesn't
what
know how much
everybody
we
else
get
does.
as a total. Yeah, me and Pab
he
live
doesn't-
quite comfortably off of this podcast. we pay Sheepdog his $8 and tell him, I don't know what it is. 450 episodes, it's just not gone anywhere, Sheepdog. I don't understand.
Yeah.
He just buys it every single time. Me and Pab, we're doing this from Barbados this week while he's down in London.
I've got another roll of
Lovely.
Switch on the way.
Yeah, we're at the MGP Villa in Barbados filming this. He doesn't know about that. Oh, my word. Right, what have you rascals been up to this week anyway?
Well, talking about Revive Me, I've been playing Gears of War 5 Horde mode.
Who was talking about Revive Me?
You were, where you have to come and revive your things.
That was 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, well, I've been sat here just... Yeah.
You've had that segue locked and loaded. Excellent.
Well, because you said revive, and all in my head is going, revive me! Because that's all I hear when we play that games. And then you say it, and then it just becomes a whole thing down the ear holes when we're playing Revive Me.
Which is not what it's called.
Not Revive Me. Oh, what am I saying?
Gears
Gears
of
War
War.
5.
5.
It's not even called that.
Gears
just
5.
Gears of War.
It's just Gears 5 now.
Oh, is it Gears 5?
They
I
just
thought
changed
they
it to
just...
Gears and got rid of war.
What, is the war finished? Is it just they just hang out and chat now?
I don't know.
I don't know. So I finished it. I finished the game. I only had like an hour or so.
Okay.
So I finished it. And it wasn't a great finish because it was like to be continued. I was all, what was the point of that? I did this whole story for it to be continued. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
like normally with Gears games, there's a conclusion to what you're doing, and this time
Oh,
it
but
was like
this is very much the middle one, though, isn't it? They've said this is a new trilogy, 4, 5, and 6. And this was the middle one, so it was bound to happen.
oh, okay.
You've got to build it up to that for that big last one at 6, whoever it is. Yeah, 6.
Yeah, so I finished it. It was fine. There was like you get a skiv, so you get to go around the environments a bit more. So whereas back in the old days, it would be literally like a linear A to B. What you got to do. This one was there's A. There's where you start. There's your main objective over there, but then there's all these other things to do if you want. You don't have to, but it's better if you do because you get like upgrades and you help people out and they give you stuff. So you can go through from A to B, but I am me and do X, Y, Z before I go to B. So I finished it. There was like an ice area, a desert area, and then like a town area. There wasn't that many environments, but there was like a little bit to do. Not loads, but a little bit. So I finished it anyway. And then I wanted to play Horde, and I don't know what they've done to it, but like they have like these seasons. Now I don't understand it all because I just don't understand. But I couldn't like there was like 3 main like blocks that I could choose. One was like Frenzy, which was just like 12 rounds. I was like, well, who wants to do 12 rounds? Not me. Then there was this custom where you make your own. I was like, well, no, because I want to play with people. I don't have enough people to have in a team. And then there was like search. So I just searched this whole list of people who are doing like 50 levels. Because that's Horde to me. Horde is from level 1 to 50. And do you think so? I did the Frenzy. I didn't enjoy it. I was like, this is pointless. I don't understand it. Found games and just jumped into games that were like in beginner and like advanced, like middle ground. And I was just jumping into people's games playing them. I did like 3 50 rounds and it was fine. It's not the same as old Horde where like you just build as and when you needed to. You have to like collect money or tokens, then you have to take them to the fabricator, and then you have to make the thing you want, and then you have to walk it to where you want it to go. It's just a whole lot of like messing about, whereas before it was you had the money, you would build there and then on the floor in front of you, and away you go. So they've got like this whole fabrication thing, and that like you only get 30 seconds between each round, and to run around get all of the tokens, because they don't just come to you automatically, you have to run and get them, then get back to the fabricator. So you've got like these massive maps, up, down, left, right. So you've got to like navigate back. Then you got to make it. Then you got, and it's just like a whole lot of just annoyance because like I just don't like it. But I just wanted to play it, so I played it, and then I didn't go back to it. I played some Forza. I beat Kevin. That's all I needed to do.
You beat my drivatar. We haven't actually played together.
I found you, so I raced you. I left you in the dust, like bye. And then
My drivatar. Right, we're having a proper session this weekend.
And then I found you in a race, and I beat you, and I beat everybody else.
Beat me.
So yeah, you're not very
can't
good.
beat
I
me.
beat you.
Right, we're having a session this weekend. I won't stand for this disparagement of my character.
And then I was what about that? Oh, I was scrolling through YouTube. Yeah, YouTube, and saw the headline of Assassin's Creed Valhalla Season Pass 2. I was like, what, who, when, why? So I watched it. Apparently there's a Season 2 coming out in 2022. I'm like, oh, is there now? So I went back to Assassin's Creed
Have
Valhalla.
they not released a game this year?
No.
They've been on a every other year cycle the last few.
And now Season Pass 2 is coming out next year for Assassin's Creed. So I put in Valhalla because I did fall out of it for a while. I just couldn't bother with it anymore. But I put it in. Now, I started both DLCs, which is very wrong. I shouldn't have started. If I hadn't finished one, I shouldn't have started the other one. So I've lost about 40 hours, and I've gone right back to before starting Island, which is the Druids one, the Wrath of the Druids, I believe it's called. And I'm just going through that. I've got to the part in the story of where I left it because I left there and went to Paris because that one came out. But when these all came out, I was working and I just didn't have the time. So I'm back in Ireland. I have got rid of because I had like a sword and shield get up, and it just wasn't working for me. I was getting battered all the time. So I'm dual wielding with like a sword and a saber thing. And I am taking heads off, which is quite cool to look at. So yeah, I'm back on Valhalla. It's fine. It's fine. It's like what
Glowing review.
It's not this. Like when I started it back when it came out, it was like you would scan the area and it would show you everything that was around, and that annoyed me so much. But now they've put in options where it would just go, this camp is in the north, go and find it, instead of just like giving you a pinpoint, go over there. So you can turn all that off, which is like, yes, because I want to read what it says. I want to go over there and just find things organically. I don't like when it came out, it's like, that's over there, go and see this. I just can't be bothered. I want to find these things as I'm going around, because that's how I enjoy Assassin's Creed. I did it with Odyssey. I did it with the other one, Origins. Yeah, and it was just very organic. Go and do your things. Whereas when you turn this one on the first time, it just showed you everything was, and that's just like, that's not really Assassin's Creed like, is it really? So you can turn all that off. You can turn off, not turn off, you can turn down like the stealth, so you can just have it on normal, or you could put it where it's like high, so it will take them longer for you to find you. So you've got base, like it's higher, or you can put it on low, so like you have to make stealth like the stealthiest thing ever. What else was there? I think like leveling of the enemies, you can put that up or down. And then like the map thing, it will just give you a gist of where things are. And I'm enjoying it a bit more. So I'm in Ireland. Ireland is quite big. I think it's mostly Northern Ireland, from what I can gather. There's Dublin. Is that Northern Ireland?
No.
No.
Oh, so I'm in like Ireland. Okay. Well, I don't know.
Our Irish listeners will love this.
I don't. I'm not. I've never been over there, so I don't quite know. Like, so what's the capital of Ireland then?
Dublin.
What's the capital of Northern Ireland?
Belfast. Well, London, officially. They'll love that even more.
Okay, so I've got this Dublin, and then there's all these other places that I can't say because I don't know how to say them. But yeah, I'm just doing that. Like I said the other week, there's nothing out for me. So back to Valhalla for me. Yay. That's it. It's me.
There we go.
Yeah.
P-A-B-B-Y.
Me?
That's what I spelt, wasn't it?
I don't know. I wasn't really listening.
Fantastic.
I was writing stuff down. So, what have I played? Not a lot. Not a lot. I thought about...
It's lovely doing a nice quick podcast without sheepdog.
It
It's
is
great.
Yeah. I thought about doing many things, but I've not really done it. My intention is to play some Forza at the weekend. I am not at home this weekend.
Are you in London with sheepdog by any chance?
No. I'm going to stay at my dad's for the weekend, looking after the pets. But I thought to myself this evening, I wonder if this if they got Game Pass working on iOS yet. And they did. They did get it working. So I'm taking my iPad with me, and I'm taking my controller, and it actually works. And it was working surprisingly well when I tried it out this evening. So
what, xCloud Forza stuff?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh wow.
Yeah. Yep. So, and it's, like I say, it's just pretty much just Game Pass on the cloud. So I could play Back 4 Blood if you wanted to. We could play all sorts of stuff. But so I'm gonna try it out at the weekend, depending on what the connections are like. But it all seemed fine here. What I actually have played, and probably most of my time, has been a game called Inscryption. I don't know if you've heard of this game. I doubt it.
No, you're such a hipster. Of course we haven't. You're such a hipster.
You haven't heard of Inscryption?
No.
You haven't heard the discourse of Inscryption and how people are saying this is the game of the year for lots and lots and lots of people.
All the hipsters have been saying that.
Yeah,
All the hipsters think it's great.
It's a card-based game.
Wow.
And it's bizarre. I'm saying it like that because I'm not 100% sure. I've played it for, I want to say, close to 7 or 8 hours maybe, and I'm not certain of what game this is. It's weird. It's a strange game. You start off the premise of you click the game and then you hear a voice go, "All right, let's boot this up then." And then it boots up and it's like an old school, like really old school, like I don't even know what it is. Like what was like before Windows 95. It's like a Windows 95 game. Like boots up and you've got to drag like the icon into the start box, and then it clicks and it goes and it runs, and it's all like flickery screen, and then it starts up and then it's like almost PS1 graphics, but it's intentional. It's not. It's meant to look like that, and it's meant to look proper grimy and gritty. And it's like just starts you off with a table in front of you, and it's just a set of eyes looking at you. It's just like all you can see is just like glowing eyes. And on the table is where you play your card game, and you are playing this character, and he's effectively like. He's almost like a dungeon master sort of thing, where he plays all the characters. You're playing him, but he is playing characters sort of thing, and you're trying to beat people through it's like a roadmap on the table, and you move up through the roadmap similar to something like Slay the Spire. But it's weird. It's really weird. So the premise of the game is you play the cards, and every card requires like like Hearthstone or stuff like that, it requires like a certain amount of mana to play a card. That sounds right, doesn't it? Yeah. This one requires blood. So you have to sacrifice something, and you can, each turn, you can pick up a squirrel card, which is 1 blood, or you can pick up a card from your deck. So if you pick up a squirrel card, that is 1, you put that down, and then you can, if a card in your deck has a 1 blood sacrifice, you can then sacrifice that squirrel, and then you can play that card. If you require 2 blood, then you would need a squirrel. If you had a squirrel and your card that you previously put down, so you could then sacrifice 2 things, you could then play the card that requires 2 blood, and so on and so forth. That's how it works. But it starts getting weird when, say, for example, this also you'll like this. One of the cards. So the card, it's basically animals on these cards, such as like squirrels, sharks, boars.
You better be saying giraffe in a minute, young man.
No, I'm going to better this. Stoats.
Okay.
And I'll one up you on this.
We got any goats with them?
I've not seen a goat. I've seen elks. As of yet.
Okay.
The stoat talks to you.
Does he? I'm interested.
The card talks to you.
Why
And
did you tell him?
He talks to you and tells you stuff and gives you clues, right? So you play this innocuously, just playing the card game. This is the thing, I've not got anywhere near. The game says, I mean, I looked on how long to beat because I was like curious, like thinking, what sort of time frame we're looking at here? And it's saying 11 hours main story. That's 11 hours based on the fact that you can beat the card game. Now, you wonder, what am I talking about? Because there comes at certain points in the game where the guy will go, have a rest, go and stretch your legs. And then you can get up from the table and go and walk around his room that you're in. And then there's suddenly it becomes an escape room where you are trying to puzzle things like going on. There's like puzzles and different things and clues in books. And then there's a safe on the wall, and then you look through a book of like card descriptions, because each card has like a descriptor sort of thing of like what it does, like barbs or like a death rattle or something like that. And you can look all these up, and then one of the pages just has a code scrolled on it in blood. You're like, what's that? And it's like, oh. And then you scramble across to the other side of the room where there's a safe, and you go and pop that up, and there's a safe, and then there's like a legendary card in there. So you're like, okay, so now I've got like a proper boss card for my deck. And there's so many different like cards and different clues and different things. I don't know what it is about this game, and there's so little. I don't know enough about this game, and yet it's a game that
This is on Steam, presumably.
Yeah, it's on Steam. It's only on Steam at the minute, and
I'm having a look. You had me with talking Stoke, really.
I mean, all I'll say is, I've got to the card chapter of the game. I've heard people dance around it, not really talking about what's going on, but I've had people say there is FMV in this game at certain points. And
there's a free demo.
Probably is, yeah. Yeah, there is a free demo. Give it a go.
Do I want the game or the beginner's deck? The beginner's deck is more than the game. The beginner's deck bundle.
It's probably just like
45% off in the sale.
Is it really?
£15.40 for the beginner's deck bundle.
I mean,
which gets me the game, Pony Island, and the Hex.
Okay, so that's previous.
Is that other games they've made?
That's previous games, yeah. And Pony Island. If you've played Pony Island, you'll saying if you've played Pony Island, you will know kind of like what sort of experience you're kind of going to be expecting.
Never heard of Pony Island.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's a bizarre experience, and it's. That's
I'm thinking this is
fascinating.
a sensible purchase for when my Steam Deck arrives. It feels like a game.
I feel like this is what it is. I feel like that's all I've been doing. I'm thinking, yeah, but if I get it on Steam, and when my Steam Deck comes, I'll be able to play it on there. I was like, yeah, but you can play it on Switch now. He's like, yeah, but when I get the Steam Deck, I'll have it on the PC and on the Steam Deck. Well, and I'll have 2 different forms of it.
Steam Deck's going to be the new home for my indie games. You won't have to pay Nintendo tax on them anymore.
So it's bizarre. I don't know what to expect. Like I say, I've got to the card phase of this game. I don't know what else there is to this game as to like what else is going to happen. It's a game that I bought on Saturday night, turned on at 10 p.m. and then thought, what time is it? It must be nearly midnight. It was 1:15. I just lost my 3 hours. Just flew by. And that doesn't happen with me. I kind of I can go on a game for about maybe an hour, and I kind of stop or get distracted and do something else. The game kind of just took me away for an evening, and I didn't realize it. And it's a game where you think you've won. I thought I had found a way to win on Wednesday or whatever day it was. No, Tuesday. I thought I found a way to win, and then it just blitzed me. It absolutely just blitzed me. It was like you think you're good at this sort of thing, and then it just went nope, and just kind of swept me away, and that demoralised me a lot because I thought I'd got one up on it. But yeah, I can't really say more to what this game is because I don't know what it is, and even if I did know, I don't necessarily think I'd want to tell you because I think it's a game that needs to be experienced.
It's downloaded now, so it's ready to go. I'll give it a look.
Give it a look. Yeah, the demo. Yeah, give that demo a look because it's something.
Oh no, I bought the beginner's deck. I bought all 3 games.
Oh my god. Okay. Don't be
I'll drop
blaming
my
me
15 quid.
I'm on record saying you should have played the demo because I cannot vouch for how weird these games are and whether they'll be up your street or not.
Well, you'll just have to owe me 15 quid if they were rubbish. You can buy me an ice cream next time we're in London.
Yeah, that's about 15 quid. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I like this game a lot, and like I say, I'm about 8 hours in, and I think I'm still on the first section of the game, first chapter as it were. And I know there's lots more to come, but I just need to beat the card game deck building portion of it, and I will just have to get the right run.
I'm probably not going to touch this until my Steam Deck arrives in 2026, and then I'll have all these games ready for it.
Well, there's also an what was I going to say now? I've forgotten. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Inscryption. It's a good one. It's a good little game, and like I say, don't be surprised when you hear podcasters and from all the big outlets and what have you.
Hipsters.
Well, it's
corduroy wearing
all these big outlets,
hipsters.
all these big outlets and what have you. Don't be surprised when you hear Inscryption being talked about. The only other game that I've played, and I've not played tons of this. I've played maybe an hour or so, maybe a bit more. I've bought another game. I've double dipped on a game called Death's Door, which I mentioned earlier in the year, and I loved Death's Door. And it came out on Switch this week. I was like, this is a perfect little game to play on the Switch. It runs perfectly. Soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack about 2 weeks ago. It went on sale on Steam, I think, or whatever it was, and I bought it on there. And it's so good. I love the soundtrack. Soundtrack is amazing. And I played up to I think I played up to the house boss. I think something like that. There's a big house that's the boss, and he just spins around and tries to stomp on you. Yeah, Death's Door is another very good game, and I want to say I'm checking I've started compiling my games of the year list for
organised. Good
yes,
work.
I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm trying to think of. I know I'll miss something out, and I go, that would have probably made my list. But it is on my currently. It's in the top 10 for the year so far. So, Death's Door is a very good game, and it's now out on Switch as well as PC. And that is everything. That is it. Like I say, I've had a week where I've not really played much. I've had a week where I found myself going to bed earlier, and who knew that was good for you?
I mean, apparently it is.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I've been staying up to the early hours leveling up Pokemon, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah. Apparently, if you go to bed before midnight, it's beneficial, and it's good for you when you get up at 5:45 in the morning every day for work. And
I don't buy into any of this nonsense.
Well, I do.
I think it'd make it harder to have an afternoon nap. That's the problem.
Oh, that's why I stream in the afternoons. Do you not realise that's one of the main reasons I stream in the afternoons, because I had to stop myself from going to sleep in the afternoons and ruining my entire sleep pattern. But yeah, that is all I've played. I'll play some other stuff over the weekend. And return
And then you'll
next
buy
week.
Pokemon.
I've been on the fence so much with Pokemon. Yeah, but
I am loving it. It's so much, especially if you've not played the originals.
But I mean,
It's so much
played
fun.
the original. I didn't play the Diamond ones, but I played like the Red and Blue and Silver.
Yeah,
or
so if
whatever
you've
it
not
was.
played Diamond and Pearl,
Yeah, but
then this is...
it's not different, is it? It's not. It's exactly the same
It
sort
kind
of
of
game.
is. That's the thing. It kind of is. And it's got all of the quality of life improvement stuff that they've put in recent years. It is... Pokemon games are really good now, and it really annoys me. I wouldn't say it if he was here, but I think this is a safe space to discuss it without anyone sat there grinning in the background. But I used to really struggle with them. They were all the same. They didn't explain what was going on, and I don't know. They just a touch more handholdy now, and it's become so much more accessible because of it. And I am just loving it. I've loved the last couple, and I'm loving this one even more. This is my favourite of the three that have been on the Switch.
I was going to ask that. I was going to ask, could I?
Yeah, if you're only going to get one on Switch, get this one.
But I own all of them, and I've not finished any of them.
They're different. They're different enough. That's the thing, because you've got Let's Go, which is the original one remade for 2-year-olds,
like Pokemon Go.
and then you've got Sword and Shield, which is all singing, all dancing, shiny, brand new, full 3D, fancy pants Pokemon like you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. And then this is clearly an older game, but it's been so lovingly polished up and changed enough to make it new, with new things added and fancy new features and all of the little bits that have been added to the franchise since this game was originally released, like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. When was Diamond and Pearl out originally? It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So they've kind of taken what was already one of the most loved games in the series, from what I can tell. Certainly from listening to people on my stream, people talk about this as if this was always the best one anyway. And they've just polished it up and added loads of new stuff and made it that little touch more accessible. And it looks beautiful. The art style, I think, is really, really cool. And it is genuinely unputdownable. I'm playing it right now as I'm talking to you, and I'm not proud of myself. I'm just battling a giraffe rig because I need to level up. When have you ever known me level up in games? I don't know. It's got its claws into me. It's a problem. Don't get Pokemon is my advice to you.
Okay, so
steer
don't
well
get
clear.
Pokemon.
Yeah, steer well clear. I've put 40 hours into it. It's been out. It came out a week ago today.
Mm-hmm.
I've put 40 hours into it.
Why are we back on Pokemon?
Because we're filling for time. We've got 8 minutes left to get to the hour
Yeah,
to justify another advert.
Talking me into it, and then suddenly we're talking me out of it now.
Yeah, because it's so good. I don't think you should get it. Because have you got a spare 40 hours over the next week?
I haven't got a spare 5, so
Well, then don't get Pokemon. It's too good. It's not. It's
but
not
some-
for you.
not everyone's
Play
like
your
you,
little
Kevin.
hipster weasel game. Yeah, they are.
goat, I think you're
Everyone
fine.
wishes. Oh,
In
sorry,
fact,
my mistake.
There's a goat. There is a goat. I just realised there is a goat.
So you can have a stoat and a goat together. This might be.
There is a
I'm a
goat.
little bit worried. The day I see that picture is the day I die, because it's so unlikely.
Oh my god! Why did I never put it together? There is a sacrificial goat.
Right, if you can get a picture of the stoat and the goat together and send it to me, I am a little bit worried I'll die immediately afterwards, because that is my life's work. It would just be like I'll get the end come up in front of my eyes, and then the whole world will just melt around me because we finished this then.
Just as you're about to beat the
real
last
me
boss.
controlling this Kev avatar has finished his little game and can go home from the arcade now. Level complete. We move on to level 2 with a new challenge.
Interesting. I'm going to have to look this up now.
Oh, this could be revolutionary. Don't do it until I've beaten Cynthia. I don't want any pictures tonight. I can't die with Cynthia not dealt with. Anna, if I die when he sends this, avenge me. Take Cynthia on.
Avenge me.
Get my switch to Sheepdog. Let him avenge me.
Oh.
He'll sort her out for me. drive it down to London, interrupt him on stage when he's doing my gig. Goodness me, what a scumbag. Right, we will wrap things up there. If you feel hard done by you didn't get your last 5 minutes, add it to your tweet to Sheepdog when you're telling him about soldiers. But we will wrap it up. If you want to follow us on the Twitters and other places, I'm at Lalujo.
I'm at Miss Lalujo.
And I'm at Pab 1986.
And we will see you next week, boys and girls.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening, folks.